What up, kids? Leif here. We are at the end of August, which can only mean one thing. It is time to take a look at this month's retro game pickups. Let's watch. So in addition to showing you what retro games I picked up this month, I'm going to show you what these games are valued at using the website pricecharting.com compared to how much I paid for them, so you can see if I got a good deal or not. The main theme of this month's game pickups is getting games that I used to own but lost at some point in time. So let's start with the Super Nintendo. First up for the Super Nintendo is Street Fighter II Turbo, complete in box. This is a classic game for any Super Nintendo owner and one of the best fighting games of all time. Street Fighter II Turbo is valued at $45. I found this copy for $31.99, so I created a profit of $13.01. Next up for Super Nintendo, again, all games I used to have, starting with the loose cart version of Flashback, The Quest for Identity. If you haven't played this, the graphics on this are so fluid, it's amazing. Flashback, The Quest for Identity is valued at $14.79. I got this copy for $12, so I created a profit of $2.79. We have 3 remaining games for the Super Nintendo, and they are all baseball themed. First one up is Super Baseball 2020. This is just a fantastic game. If you haven't played this, highly recommend. Super Baseball 2020 is valued at $11.99. I got this for $10, so I created a profit of $1.99. The next baseball game is Super Bases Loaded 2. I have the first one. I used to have the second one. Again, got lost somewhere in time. Super Bases Loaded 2 is valued at $7.27, and I got this one for $8.99, so I lost $1.72. Last up for the Super Nintendo, Super Bases Loaded 3. It's a trilogy, guys, and now it is complete in my collection. Super Bases Loaded 3 is valued at $12.99, and I got this one for $12.99. Solid deal. Next, let's turn our attention to the NES. First up, on the NES, complete in box, Paperboy, classic. What a classic game. I had this growing up as a kid in the 80s, and I just loved it. I just loved it so much. I could not actually believe that I don't have this in my collection already, but when I was taking inventory, I found that this was missing, so here we go. Boom, picked it up. Paperboy for the NES is valued at $42.66. I found this copy for $35.99, so I created a profit of $6.67. Any child in the early 90s can tell you that the TV show American Gladiators was awesome. And I actually only recently found out that it had an NES game. So I found this complete in box, and I just had to pick it up. American Gladiators for the NES is valued at $20.05. I found this copy for $14.99, created a profit of $5.06. I was always interested in this next game for the NES, but never owned it. And that, of course, is Yoshi. This game was interesting to me because Yoshi wasn't introduced until Super Mario World on the Super Nintendo, but he was so popular that Nintendo went back to NES and gave him his own game. Granted, it is a puzzle game, and it came out late in the NES lifecycle, but I think this should be a staple in anyone's NES collection. Yoshi is valued at $27.49. I found this copy for $15. It's a great deal. I made a profit of $12.49. Next up for the NES is a related game, Yoshi's Cookie. Now he has a cookie. This is complete in box, and it is another puzzle game. This one came out, I believe, a year after Yoshi, Yoshi's Cookie is valued at $19.97. I paid $18.99, so I made a profit of 98 cents. Every once in a while, when you buy a game on eBay, the seller will be so generous and throw in a couple other games that you didn't even ask for free as a complete surprise, and that is what happened to me when I bought Yoshi's Cookie. I also found in the box that arrived at my door the loose cart for NES Open, which is a golf game that I absolutely needed as part of my collection. Thank you so much. NES Open is valued at $10.47. Since this arrived free, I didn't pay anything for it, so that is pure profit. The other loose cart that I found in the Yoshi's Cookie box when it delivered from eBay was Tetris. Everybody has to have a copy of Tetris if you own the NES. You just have to. The loose cart version of Tetris is valued at $6.88. Again, this was free, so that is pure profit. Next, let's turn our attention to the Sega Genesis. We only have one game this month. And that game, of course, is James Pond, Underwater Agent, complete in box. I bought James Pond 2 last month, thinking that it was this game. And I was very disappointed when I realized it was not the game I was thinking of. This is the game I grew up with. This has so much nostalgic value for me. I am so excited. James Pond Underwater Agent is valued at $17.53. I paid $19. I just had to have this one. I lost $1.47. Next, let's turn our attention to these two towers of Nintendo 64 games. It's a lot. Let's go through this. First up is a game that I cannot believe that I lost at some point in time, and that is Pokemon Snap, one of the first 3D Pokemon games. And I was so good at this. I was in high school at the time, and very happy to have this back in my collection. Pokemon Snap is valued at $20.57. I paid $23.99. I lost $3.42. Now, believe it or not, the remainder of these N64 games are all donations. These came from a great friend of the channel. Thank you so much. I didn't pay for any of these. These were donated to the channel. So all of this is pure profit. And let's see what we got. The first one on the list is Star Fox 64. Classic game, maybe even the best in the Star Fox series. Star Fox 64 is valued at $21.41. That is pure profit. Next up is 007. The World Is Not Enough. I think we all know of GoldenEye, and I actually haven't played this one. I'm excited to test it out. 007, The World Is Not Enough, is valued at $14.46. That is pure profit. Next up is Pokemon Stadium 2. There were two of these that came out for the N64, and I remember being so excited for this one just because I loved Pokemon so much, and seeing the models in 3D was just fantastic. Pokemon Stadium 2 is valued at $47.03. That is pure profit. Wow. Next up is another Pokemon game, believe it or not, and that is Pokemon Puzzle League. And it actually looks like this copy came from Blockbuster Video. Pokemon Puzzle League is valued at $19.52. That is pure profit. Next for the N64 is one of my favorite N64 games of all time. And that, of course, ladies and gentlemen, is Banjo-Kazooie. I spent so many hours in this game in middle school. The music is burned into my brain. The sound effects burned into my brain. And I'm not even complaining. It's just that good of a game. Banjo-Kazooie is valued at $35. That is pure profit. Next up on the N64 donations is Bomberman Hero. This guy has so many games. I don't understand how he has so many games. It's all the same concept. It's such a simple concept. Bomberman Hero is valued at $16.70. That is pure profit. Next up is Snowboard Kids 2. I actually have no experience with this one, but look how cute this is. Snowboard Kids 2 is valued at a whopping $63. I can't believe it. That is pure profit. The N64 donations just keep coming, and next up is Excitebike 64. Love this game. Absolutely love it. Excitebike 64 is valued at $11.88, and that is pure profit. The remainder of the N64 games are all sports titles, so let's go through these. First one is Hamm Soccer. Hamm Soccer is valued at $7.65, and that is pure profit. Next up is NFL Blitz. NFL Blitz is valued at $16.97, and yeah, that is pure profit. We have a golf game coming up next, and that is PGA European Tour. PGA European Tour is valued at $51.23. Can you believe it? That is pure profit. And the last of the N64 games for the month of August is NBA Showtime, NBA on NBC. NBA Showtime is valued at $14.97, and yes, that is pure profit. So that does it for the N64, so let's turn our attention to the Dreamcast. We have one game for the Dreamcast this month, and that is Space Channel 5. Classic Dreamcast game. As a Dreamcast owner back in the day, I always wanted this one, was never able to get it. I'm very happy to add this to my collection today. Space Channel 5 is valued at $13.50, and I got this for $13.50. Solid deal. There's only one system that's left, and that is the Nintendo Wii. Let's see what we got. First up for the Wii is Kirby's Epic Yarn. Look how cute this is. I always thought that this game looked so cute, and I figure now is time to pick it up. Kirby's Epic Yarn is valued at $13.38, and I got this copy for $13.99, so I lost 61 cents. This next game, I wanted to love it when it came out. I bought it. I tried, guys. I really tried to like it. I just thought it was so boring. It was doing nothing for me, and so I returned it. I don't return games very often. And that is Super Paper Mario. It's a Mario game. As a Nintendo collector, you know, I think I have to own this. It's a painful game for me to play. Sorry to any fans of Super Paper Mario. Super Paper Mario is valued at $22.14. I found this copy for $16, so I made a profit of $6.14. Next up is The Adventures of Tintin, the game. This holds a special place in my heart because I was a big Tintin fan growing up, of the graphic novels. And I was so excited when the movie came out just to see Tintin represented in the media. And I actually didn't know that he had a video game that was based on the movie. And it was so cheap, I just had to add it to my collection. The Adventures of Tintin, the game, is valued at $4.53. I found this copy for $1.99. So I created a profit of $2.54. And the last game that we have for the month of August for the Wii is none other than Wacky Races Crash and Dash. I am a big fan of the Wacky Races cartoon. I think it is charming and adorable, and I love their video games. I actually didn't know that they had one for the Wii. So yes, I was very excited to pick this up. Wacky Races Crash and Dash is valued at $10. I found this for $12.75, so I lost $2.75. And that does it for the retro game pickups for August. But I do have one more thing for you guys. A little surprise. Let me show you. I picked up the Power Pad, the original Power Pad for the NES. Look at this. Now you're playing with body power. If you are interested in the Power Pad, I'm going to be doing an unboxing episode later this month where I'm going to dig into this and show you all the treasures inside, so stay tuned for that. The NES Power Pad, it's hard to tell what it's valued for. Online, it goes anywhere from $50 to $200. I paid $89.95 for this one, and from what I can tell, the median value is around $76.49, so I'm just going to say I lost $13.46 on this one. So all in all, the total value of all of these games is $717.52. I only spent $352.11, which means I created a profit of $365.41 this month. And that is it for this month's retro game pickups. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will catch you guys next time.